Hawthorne Bank in Liberty is a proud supporter of the Liberty School District. At Hawthorne Bank, we understand the importance of a strong community and a strong school district. We also understand the importance of a strong financial future for our school district's families and for our local businesses.
I'm Melissa Hubble.
I'm Katie Colbert.
I'm Lynn McClure.
I'm Nick Richmond, and Hawthorne Bank is proud to support KLPS and the Liberty Public School District.
Hawthorne Bank, with you every step. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, this is Coach Chad Fregon. I'm here at the Blue Jay press conference this week. We're coming off a bye week from the first round of playoffs. This week we host the second round against Liberty North and a district semifinal game here at Liberty High School. I'll go ahead and open it up for some questions. Go ahead.
What things do you think the teams improved most on over the bye week?
Well, we went back and really cleaned up some stuff that we were struggling with, and with the big emphasis on our run game, we had some we worked some different things in pass protection as well offensively. Defensively, looked at some of the sets we struggled against and how we lined up against them. So it was a good week to kind of reflect back on ourselves without preparing for an opponent. This week, we're definitely into game week mode and preparing for Liberty North. Go ahead.
So I know you've already played Liberty North once this season, so what type of stuff have you done to make sure you're doing better and fixing the mistakes that were made against them?
Right, and I think if you look at the game from week 3, is a long time ago. Both of our teams have changed since then, and in some ways good, and they've definitely improved. If you look at their score, I think they've won 4 of their last 5 games, and they're coming on at the right time. We knew they would. But I think you look at that game and take some of the things that we had trouble with, specifically in the first half. We scored 14 points and had a couple drives stall and some things that, some negative yardage plays that we have to really, that we've hopefully this week get into our game plan. We'll be able to correct those things so they don't happen again. Go ahead.
Like you said, you have an incoming game with Liberty North this week. So are you more worried about North's offense or defense?
Well, I think when you look at it, I think there's parts when you say worry. Don't try to worry as much as just things we got to prepare better for. And like I said earlier, we had some struggles moving the football in the first part of the first game, specifically the first half. And we had made some adjustments. I'm sure they made some adjustments too. So that'll be some things we do offensively. Defensively, we had a broken coverage that led to one of their touchdowns. Had another long drive where we were fortunate to get a turnover. So that game was a lot closer than what the final score indicated.
With Gibson Brown breaking his wrist week 5, do you think he has any chance at coming back this week?
We hope so. He's been cleared to do some running and things like that. It's just going to kind of be how this next week, what they let us know. If not next week, maybe the next week after that. It'd be great to get him back. He's a good kid and a senior, and you always hope for the best and somebody get injured and it's not a season ender. Go ahead.
Home district game against your rival, how packed do you think the stands will be?
I think it's going to be a packed house. And we played up there week 3. It was a great environment, big crowds. We've had big crowds at home all year long in our new stadium, and it should be a great environment. Fall football weather looks like highs in the 40s. It's going to be a fun night for football.
Are there any certain players on Liberty North that you're looking out for?
Well, and I think you look at with them, they're a really balanced team. They run the ball extremely well. But offensively, their quarterback is a great running quarterback and a very powerful runner. They number 9, number 44 have got a bulk of their carries. And definitely seen them improve as the year goes on. They've been able to roll off some long runs. With that, defensively, they're just a very solid defense. It puts a lot of pressure. Number 80, their inside backer, is a kid that started last year and did really good, and just a really good player. Devin Rice, the defensive end, is one of the top athletes in the city. So they really bring that. Brett DeMeyer is a safety that always seems to play really well. He has a real nose for the football, and I believe he lived here his freshman year, and he's a great kid and a hard football player. And all those guys are ones we're going to have to prepare for. Yes.
What things do you think North has improved on ever since we last played them?
Well, I think when you look at defensively, they've really shut some people down. And you look at what they've done specifically against the run. Teams are having trouble running against them. They've also scored quite a few points, multiple games over 40 points in their last few games. So they definitely are putting up more production on offense.
How do you think the recent injuries have affected your team?
It's been tough, and we've been through a string of injuries, and that we've had to make some adjustment. And just kind of abnormal ones in that we've had broken bones. And I think we've had like 4 or 5 guys that have actually broke bones, and we haven't had that in the past. And that's just not something you can heal back from quick. So it's been good in that we've had some guys jump up and come up and fill in their roles and do a nice job. And, hopefully, with experience each week with them filling in, we can get better with that. Go ahead.
Do you think the weather is going to play a factor into the game Friday night?
Oh, it probably will. And you look at any type of weather conditions can affect what you do. And from now it looks like it's just going to be cold, which is something we haven't had to deal with. It's been a really nice fall. But either way, I'm sure kids will adapt and adjust and be able to get out there and do their best on Friday night. Go ahead.
So leading up to such a big game, what does the average practice look like?
Well, we really are. We have a game week practice that we've done every week of the year, really, except last week, which was our bye week. We switched some things up, but we go through with our heavy days, longer days, being on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday's kind of a pregame day, and today's an introductory day where we introduce some of the schemes and work them. Now we're a little ahead today because we had some of that last week, so that changes up. But it will stay the exact same practice-wise. That's led us to a 7-2 record, and we feel confident in that process that gets us ready for a game on Friday. Thanks.
Do you think the postponed homecoming activities are going to get you guys even more pumped up for the big rival game?
Well, I think so. I think that's great for some of the things that we weren't able to do with the student population and the crowd on homecoming because of the weather that night. They're going to do some things. I think it'll make it for an even better environment in our stands and our student section. Go ahead, Peyton.
So coming off a bye week, is your team atmosphere any different since you guys had time to reflect on what needs to be improved?
Well, we'll find out at practice today when we get there. I hope it's really good, and I expect it to be good. And I think it will be. It has been a little different in that we had taken some time to really, it feels like slow down the pace a little bit and work some things out and, do a little more film prep, a little bit more than we normally would do just because we have time to do it. So hopefully that increased preparation last week will lead to us having better practices this week.
What are some of your keys to victory for playing North this week?
Well, I think some of the big things with us, and we talk about this every week, really 3 keys we have that we feel we have to win football games. One of them is be able to run the football. And we did that off and on against them the first time. But the games where we've been successful, we've been able to run the football. Secondly, we talk every week about winning the turnover margin. And we need to do that. This past game 2 weeks ago against Lee Summit North, when we lost, we were -3 in turnovers. And it's really hard to win games when you're -3. When they get the ball 3 more times off your turnover, specifically, we turned it over when we're getting ready to score like we did this past time. So we know we're going to have to take care of the football. And finally, we need to win the special teams game. And they're extremely well coached in their special teams. You can tell that by their practice. Just their practice leads right into it. They have, they come out, look extremely well organized on special teams, a lot like we do, and they do a great job with it.
So after beating North once before, do you feel any different, like more confident going against them next week?
Well, I think it does help your confidence, but at the same time, I think our kids really realize that, that's really, that game there was the first half. We have to do the second half now, and the score's reset at 0-0. So I think that's a challenge they'll take, and hopefully go out and prepare and play well with that. But it does, if it does add to confidence, I think our kids are also very realistic and know how much they've improved over the course of this season. Go ahead.
You said you had time to watch film during the bye week. How important is film to you guys?
Well, we watch it a lot. And there's really 3 different types of film that we watch. Our own practice film daily. Coaches watch it. We send it out and I'll be able to correct things with that. We watch our game film after we prepared it, and played a game with that. And then we watch opponent scout film. So it gives us a little more time. Maybe something as simple as, last week with our practices, sometimes we don't watch everyone with every kid. We're able to do that over the course of this week and be able to watch those reps and make corrections, do things with them, and still have the time to prepare for the upcoming component. It's a big part of what we do. And when you look at coaching's really teaching. You're able to take mistakes and correct them and go out and perform again and hopefully get them right. And that's part of our big job as coaches. All right, I want to thank all of you for coming today and for the great questions here in our KLHS studios. We'll see you again next week. Thank you.
Hawthorne Bank in Liberty is a proud supporter of the Liberty School District. At Hawthorne Bank, we understand the importance of a strong community and a strong school district. We also understand the importance of a strong financial future for our school district's families and for our local businesses.
I'm Melissa Hubble.
I'm Katie Colbert.
I'm Lynn McClure.
I'm Nick Richmond, and Hawthorne Bank is proud to support KLPS and the Liberty Public School District.
Hawthorne Bank, with you every step. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.